Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Ying Meets Yang of Gaming, episode number 17. This is your host, Snow Bunny of Snow Bunny Gaming, with my illustrious co host, Project Storm, here. Hello, everybody. I see Red Raven in the chat, Fatal Sherrod in
Red
the
Raven,
chat. What's
Raven
going
Raven.
on? What's going on? This week's episode was one that was kind of hard to come by because the only thing that's been talked about in the gaming news is the debacle that is Cyberpunk 2077. So there's not much else going on coming up that's not being overshadowed by that. But that in itself brings us to our topic now. There's a lot of things going on in gaming and a lot of things that need to change. We but the problem is we need to start the changes ASAP. Right now we're heading into a new year. Let's cut it off starting January 1st. There's a lot of changes that need to happen in gaming. And Storm and myself, we're going to try to um discuss these things. So, and discuss some of the things that we see needs to be changed. And it's not on all fronts. We have the investors, we have the developers, we have the higher end people, we have the console companies, the PC companies. There's even us, the gamers ourselves. There's changes that all of us need to do in order to make gaming a whole better community. So let me go on to my illustrious co-host of everything, Project Storm. How have you been this week?
Hey, I was all right, but I'm feeling better right now. Already seeing Red Raven and Fatal Charade and you know what I'm saying, Charles
And
step up in the
Charles,
chat.
hey
You know what I'm saying?
Charles.
Thank y'all for stopping by. It is definitely going to be one of those shows that make you think. I wish we had y'all voices on here with us so we could really have a genuine conversation about it. But we're going to try our best to include y'all into this conversation because I tell you right now, y'all know how me and Bunny do. It's Ying meets Yang for a reason. Y'all know how we do. She feels passionate about one thing. I feel passionate about another, but we always come to a common ground. Remember that. It's all love. But today is that day where the gloves are going to come off because there's a lot of BS going on in the industry as a whole. And we're gonna be jumping right into that now. Um, Buddy, where do you want to attack? Where do you want to attack this from? You want to go right into the cyberpunk? I mean, why not?
Well, no, well, first off, I need to say hi to my buddy Uncompetitive. Hey, Uncompetitive, how are you doing today? Glad you could make the show. Is this earlier time slot easier for you to come in, Uncompetitive? Because he is in the UK. Thank you
Yeah,
for coming on.
I hope it
So,
is.
so let's get into it. We don't even have to jump into it cyberpunk because
All right.
the thing with cyberpunk is everything that happened with cyberpunk is a snowball effect. You had management issues. You
Right.
had probably there's right now internal fighting between Cyberpunk 20 the City Project Red with the developers mad at the higher ups. So there had to have been a breakdown in communication somewhere between the two of them.
And I felt that. Go ahead.
Okay. So we got the higher ups, we got the investors issues going on there. We have the issues with Sony and Microsoft even allowing this game their um approval processes for allowing games on their platforms. We also have the gamers. Yes, the gamers. We are part of this problem also. Okay, so Cyberpunk hits upon a lot of things that we say stretching all across gaming. One
Yes.
thing is the investors have too much say. I mean, that uh I understand that yeah, you put your money into this and you want a quick turnaround. But the complexity of way games are now and how long it takes to develop a game, they got to think about that before they invest their money into it. Okay. We already say investors have, whenever these big companies talk, some of them, when you hear them talk, you hear them talking to the investors, even though people think they're talking to us, the gamers. No, we're pretty much an afterthought to them. Okay, they're talking to the people who's putting the money up front. Okay, so investors, that's one whole topic in itself of the issues with investors, and we will be referring back to the cyberpunk issue because, like I said, with this launch of Cyberpunk 2077, it's I think this one launch is having an effect in showing all the issues across the whole board of gaming. You understand what I mean?
Yep.
Storm, because like I said, this one situation, you're hitting everything. You're hitting the gamers, the companies, the developers, you're hitting the investors. Sometimes with janky launches, it's one or the other. You understand? Like
Yep.
the developers overpromised what they were going to give. Developers push the game out. Or the game comes out perfectly fine, but it's the gamers who hate it. But this one game has brought all that to the forefront like a punch to the teeth. So, what is your thoughts on like we're right now talking about with the issues with the investors?
Yeah, I'm just enjoying hearing you talk about it, Bunny. I mean, we haven't heard your voice speaking on this, so I'm just absorbing it all. It's so interesting, and I know some people are going to be like, "Man, when is it going to be over?" I don't think this is ever going to be over, Bunny, because 5 years down the line, people are going to be looking back like, "Yo, man, one of the worst launches of all time." Damn, it's not No Man's Sky, and it's not Haze from PS3 days, and it's not, you know, Mass Effect Andromeda, and it's not Fallout 76, and it's not Madden 21. And so, there's so many games that release broken, Bunny. Now, when it comes to these investors and all that stuff, they make the moves, they have the money, they decide, hey, man, we can't make this a 10-year game. We were told, I'm assuming now that they were told that it was going to be 8-year game, 7 to 8 year game. Let's say hypothetically, this is what happened, right? The investors are like, look, man, we put that money out. We need to recoup. And COVID hit. We need our damn money. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got to understand that the pandemic now, we always want to throw the pandemic in there for every damn thing. Game releases, hardware failures, hardware shortages, all this stuff. Now, what if COVID had something to do with you know, the pressure that was put on them to release that game this year, 2020, not 2021, not spring.
Uh,
You know what I mean, Bunny? What's up? What's up?
I mean, here's my thing. That game was slated to launch last October.
I know, I know.
That was before COVID, before we even knew what the fuck COVID was, before we even heard COVID. That game was slated to launch back then. That game was slated to launch. They had a release date, and when Doom Eternal got pushed back, they pushed Cyberpunk back. Okay, that's the one factor I look at out of all of this.
Yeah.
That game was slated to come out before we even knew what COVID was, before China shut down, before the world shut down. That game was already slated to be launched, but then got delayed. So was this game going to release when this game released last year? And this was before we even knew when the PlayStation 5 and when the Xbox was going to be released. This was well before we knew when those were going to be released. Like we literally didn't find out the release dates of those games of those systems until about a month before they launched. So that part of the whole COVID thing, I can understand where like the COVID's making it hard to work from home. But if that game was slated for last year, that means that the bare bones of that game was completed. Which
Well,
means the bare bones of that game was broken from then.
and the bare bones of a lot of games were the same. You know what I'm saying? The bare bones was broken on a lot
Right.
of different titles. So this is what I'm saying. This is why I got to say that they have to get a pass when it comes to changing the release dates. Now, okay, so the later release date changes or whatever, you would have to assume that it was due to the number of consoles and devices that the game was asked to be
Uh,
on. You know what I'm saying? Now,
I
I
mean,
want to get your thoughts on it, but I'm
but
just saying you threw in some cloud services or platform. You threw in all consoles. You know what I mean, except the Switch. You threw in PC. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
You're throwing in AMD and Nvidia. That's a hell of a lot of work. I don't know why they got themselves
But
into all that. I don't know why they took on that challenge.
I
I
mean,
knew, Bunny, that was going to be detrimental to the success of this game, and the outcome of it, and the polishness and all that good stuff. Right? I just knew it. I knew it. I said it over and over and over. Yo, there's too
but
many platforms. Something bad is going to happen. No
but
way they can
okay,
make it come out
let's
crispy
let's
on
let's
everything.
put it on. Let's think about it like this. If that was the case, okay, if that was the case, this
Yeah,
game was already in production for PS4 and Xbox One, correct?
yeah.
And PC, correct?
Hmm.
They didn't have to add PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, nor Stadia. That was their choice. There's tons of games that's being released right now that's still only on PlayStation 4 and Xbox the with the fact that you can still play them on the next gen console. If if the issue was so many different consoles coming out, the game should have already been done for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Those three were already should have been done. If they were going to release it last October, those three is what they were going to release it on. There was no Stadia. Stadia was just getting its legs last year. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, we didn't even know when they were going to launch. So if that was the case, that game, if they were going to launch it last year and then push it back up to this year, first time April, the first delay was to April. Those three right there should have already been completed. They made the choice to add PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and Stadia to it.
I think when they said that the game was ready, it was the game was ready to be released. Remember that during that April announcement or whatever, they were
Hmm.
basically assuring people that the game was done. Now it was complete. It was complete on PC, is what I'm
That's it.
thinking now. If we're gonna go by what they're saying, I'm just gonna put one and one together, and then I came up with my answer being that it was ready on PC. So
Mhm.
I think that they knew they were running into issues with the game a while back, and they were just like, "How the hell?" I think it became too overwhelming. I think that they knew that they were going to be running a tight race to try to get this game out on all those platforms, and then they started. I think there's a little bit of panic, and then
And
not only
then
that, you got the investors and everybody else that's internal or whatever, whoever's the big dogs making the big calls. You got them breathing down your neck like, "Yo, this game must release this holiday, man." I don't
and
know,
then
Bunny.
you gotta
I
think
give them a pass or two. I
and
got a
then
few
you gotta
passes.
think about it like this, okay? Look at all the stuff that they were dropping from that game. They were dropping that from the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One versions. Like I said, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series, when they were dropping all those features of the game, like removing the features out, that was just for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
Yeah. Hey man, we got a couple new people. We got Zajic in the
Yeah.
building.
What's
We
up,
got
Logic?
us in the house, So thanks for joining y'all. Be a part of the discussion today. Thank you for showing up, man. It's one
But
that
I mean, but when
I,
you go back to that, you got to think about every other game that's releasing, like right now. And this is something that I am giving them a pass for because right now, every game that's releasing this year, next year, and going into, I'm not expecting this whole COVID shit to clear up until at least 2023.
yeah, I
Okay.
can
I'm
see that
expecting
realistically.
2 to 3 years. Realistically, we're going to have to deal with this. So that means everything's going to be slowed down for 2 to 3 years. Okay. So all games coming out this year, next year, year after, if they weren't in production before COVID, then we're going to have some issues with them. Okay. That's the reason it's been so slow on some
I'm
fronts.
glad you brought that up.
I mean, because that's something that we all got to think about. Like right now, they're saying Sony is having a problem getting the chips to make the PS5s. I called that months ago. Hell, I called it like right before Black Friday and shit. Now I'm like, what if they don't have the stock to make these consoles? That's the reason the consoles are coming out so much later, and why there's no stock of the consoles. Okay, so
It's
I'm
sad.
anticipating 2 to 3 years before the world starts righting itself from this mess.
Now, don't take that as the console. Now, the consoles, they're telling us March and April that they're going to start regulating the consoles. Now, we'll see. We'll see. I know I know how you think, Bunny. I'm just saying, this is what, if we're going by the words of what they're saying, they're saying for the GPUs and some of these CPUs and stuff. You know what I mean? And see, Bunny, let me ask you this then. Now we're talking about the pandemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that, first of all, it's more difficult? We heard countless developers saying that it's more difficult to work from home. You got a big ass dev kit in your living room or wherever in your basement or whatever, you're trying to work from home. You got a family at home with you.
I
You
mean,
know what
and
I'm
then
saying, Bunny?
and
You
then you
got a
gotta
lot of
think
things.
about.
Some people learn better hands-on and in person. So, you know what I mean? You got to think about,
Well,
see, this is what I ask people to think about. You got new team members who just joined the team. They had just signed on people for this ambitious ass project, right? You got to counsel these people. You got to make sure that they're going in the right direction, and you got to do it while social distancing.
but then you
Man,
gotta think about it also like this. Okay,
yeah,
you're saying the dev kits. Not everybody's going. They're not going to send out 500 dev kits to
yeah, I
one
know,
company.
right?
Then you got to think about people like Nintendo. You know, Nintendo, they're strict as shit. Rumor has it that their dev kits are usually bolted to the desk to make sure nobody can take them home
Damn,
because they don't want shit leaking.
right.
Okay? So those are things that you got to think about when you're thinking about, okay, yeah, we got to work from home. Now for City Project Red, let's keep it 100. They work on PC. It was a lot easier for them to develop for a PC at home than everybody else.
Okay,
Zoom, conference calls, Discord has everybody talking in meetings. You have all of that.
right.
Okay, if you're developing for PC is probably PC games and PC programs are probably going to be the easiest to develop for during this whole pandemic because you already got your PC rigs.
Uh-huh.
You can go into the office, pick up your laptop, take it home.
Yep.
You can sign out your desktop models that this is being made
Mm-hmm.
on. Almost everybody has a PC. I take that back because there is a developer who was looking for a job and was using everything on her phone because her company PC got taken from her and she didn't have one of her own.
Right.
But my point is, PC gaming like City Project Red, this game would have been no problems. Like and now like you're saying the pandemic, but for a company that's focused on like Zajic said they focused on the PC version. They were like fuck the other versions. Even with Stadia, switching it to Linux, you do that from a PC. So for those two versions, that was the easiest thing to work on for them. Okay. The console version, they're saying you can't really put the pandemic on it because, like I said, if the console version was slated to come out last year, you don't even have to be honest with you, you don't even have to worry about the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox X versions because you already have the base game. Do you see every company out here making a PlayStation 5 version of their game for PS5? They're like, no, put your damn PS4 disc in and play that bitch that way. We'll up-res everything. You know how you told me when I got my PS4 to put all these things on because it will
Yeah, man.
up-res it?
Yep.
What do you think the PS5's doing with all the PS4 games? So unless they were specifically making it specifically for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, they didn't really have to worry about those versions. They probably
Yeah.
could have done an update next year sometime to enhance those versions, but they could have just focused on the PS4 Pro enhanced version, and the Xbox One X version.
Well, see, when you do that, it's still going to be some type of fallout because all those people that was expecting the game to run well, which they should have been more clear on. Now, they are definitely going to be blamed for not being more clear. These days, you have to break things down. in layman's terms. You really do. You have to break shit down so people can really understand what direction you're headed in. That's why I always try to explain things in a thorough way. Because some people will take that as, oh, damn, my base model is going to be looking pretty good.
I mean,
You
that's
know
the
what I
thing.
mean?
They didn't even show it on. They didn't even show it on the PS4 Pro.
I
They didn't
get
show
that.
it on
And
the
and they
One X.
didn't. And so you should have known something was up. Just like at these award shows when you see crispy ass gameplay and it looks real PC like, nine
Mm-hmm.
times out of 10, it's probably running on PC hardware. Then now they're so transparent with it that they're gonna tell you that the shit is running on the PC behind the scenes. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? They let you know, and then people don't read, and then they get mad when the experience don't look like that on their console. So
Yeah.
hey, it's all crazy. But going back to it though, Bunny, the reason I feel I don't know why. Why the hell? I'm gonna ask you. Maybe you know the answer. Why do I have a soft spot for CD Project Red? And, and I want you to think about it now. We talked about The Witcher. Of course, I love The Witcher. I don't even know fully why I have a soft spot for CD Project Red. Man, The Witcher was amazing. I think that definitely contributes to it, Bunny. But I don't remember them having a bad reputation. I think. I think that's what it. I don't remember them having a shitty reputation as far as like people that put out sub like subpar quality games and stuff. I just don't remember that ever being the case. I don't know if I
I
ever.
mean, isn't how many games? Let's go back and look and see because City Project Red did The Witcher 1, 2, and 3.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. What else have they done besides The Witcher 1, 2, and 3?
Well, I got to go back and look into it because I'm telling you right now, I really paid attention to them when it comes to The Witcher, and that was on PC, Bunny. So it's very important that people remember this, that they were known for PC development, game development. You know what I mean? At one point, primarily PC. So I'm about to look right now because I don't want to be wrong.
No,
Uh,
I'm looking right here, and let's see here. They were made in 2002. They got Gwent, Thornbreaker, The Witcher Tales, The Witcher 2, The Witcher 3, The Witcher Adventure Game.
okay. So it seems like it's all Witcher and Gwent and all that, which comes from which is derived from the Witcher series. Now, with
Right.
that being said, that's why. But man, look,
I mean, I think you have just a soft spot for them because for you, they produced excellent, excellent games that you
I mean,
truly
excellent.
enjoy. I mean, but like some people, and I also think part of it is you were riding that hype train.
I wasn't riding no damn hype train. Now that's one thing I won't tolerate. I wasn't riding no hype train. But before we get into my thoughts on that though, let's go to the chat real quick because the chat is they were getting into it at one point. But let's
Mm-hmm.
see. Charles said, "I hope GFN gets the epic version of Ghost Runner, or they can cross save with Steam because I have an epic coupon." Yeah, I heard that a lot of people got the these $10 epic coupons or whatever. I need to check mine for the Epic Game Store. All right, but I don't know what to get now. How's that Xbox? Hey, yo, real quick to change tracks because it's good to do so. The Xbox is great. Can't lie. I was up
Oh
here. I was one of
yes,
those.
what's
Hey,
up
let
with
me get
you?
into this, buddy. Let me
No,
change
no, no,
tracks.
no. I was going to say I want to hear what your experience is with the
All
Xbox.
right.
I want to
And you,
hear
hey,
that.
now look how crazy this is. You got your PS4 Pro. I went in and
Mm-hmm.
then the Xbox just fell in my lap. I don't know how the hell I was able to get it in the first place. I went online. I went to Microsoft website when everybody was going Walmart, Best Buy, and Target and all that shit. I said, yo, let me just go to Xbox store. So I went there, Bunny. It said add to cart. I added the shit to the cart. It was janky. Didn't think I was gonna get it. And then it went through. And then I thought that it wasn't going to come to me because I thought it was somebody was going to steal it from FedEx or whatever. But the Xbox Series X is here. I like it. It's dope. Sometimes it just runs in a way that I'm like, damn, man, did I need that 3080? Like, I put it like this. If Xbox came out money with more games, and I know I've heard the diehard Xbox people say this, and I've heard the haters and the ponies say it too. Xbox, if it had games, if
You
any
can
of those
beat.
games are slated, hey, look, if any of those titles were slated this year or like the ones like the medium, of course, that's early 2021, and then 2021 is going to provide games. But if 3 or 4 games would have launched with this Series X, Bonnie, oh man, it would have been a problem, especially if they were optimized for the system because all the games is optimized for the One X, mind blowing. It's mind blowing. I mean, for a console at $500 to put out this type of gameplay, and I know now what high quality gameplay is because I have an RTX 3080. Um, it's impressive as hell. Gears of War 5 blew my damn mind. Now I knew it was going to be an upgrade in visuals and all that, but I wasn't expecting how fluid the controls. I guess I was, money, because I know this stuff. But it feels so damn good. It looks so good. That's the thing, and it loads so fast, Bunny. So all the stuff you heard about it, you saw about it, all the things people praised about this Xbox Series X, it's the truth. Like, but it's better when you get it in your house. Like a lot of people didn't even try with 4K 120 TVs. Now, y'all know I got the Samsung Q80T 65 inch, and I put that shit on my TV, and I said, "Whoa." At first, there was some jankiness. I had the handshaking issue with some HDMI problem, flickering, and all that stuff. But then I plugged it in directly to my Elgato capture card that's internal, the 4K 60 Mark II, Pro Mark II, whatever the hell it's called. But I plugged my console into that capture card and I reran shit. And now it runs so damn good. I don't have any flickering. I'm just going to leave it like that. So, Bunny, what I'm saying is when this console gets games and they continue to work on these tools and the software, it's going to be a force to be reckoned with. You know what I mean? Now I need to get that PS5. I need to get that PS5. I want that PS5. As soon as I get my hands on one, I'm not going to rush, but as soon as I get one, I'm getting on it.
I mean, but here's the thing, and even I said this, people thought I was fucking crazy when I said this. I'm not hating on Xbox,
I know.
but just like you just finally understand the point that I was making.
Go
If
ahead.
that console launched with some games,
Mm-hmm.
it would have been phenomenal. But for people like me, I'm not going to go back and not going to buy the console to go back and play old shit. I mean, because you're playing it enhanced, but if you're not a person who replays old games, like some people will play a
Yeah.
game, beat a game, get rid of a game. They'll delete it off their hard drive or they'll go trade it in. That's how some people game.
Right.
Okay. If that console had launched with stuff, it would have knocked everything out the ballpark.
You said that before too.
And that's the like you know how you were telling me like when I said I got my PS4, right?
Yep.
And I said I got my PS4 and
I
I
made
got
sure
all
you were
my
right.
and
I
I,
said
yep,
turn boost mode on, do the super sampling
yep,
and all
and all
that.
that,
It's
and then you
1080p.
told
You know what I'm
me
saying?
And then you
Yeah.
told me to do all that, and then I had my older games. Remember how we were talking about saying I was playing Man of Medan, and I bought it for Little Hope, and this, that, and the other. And you had made the comment, well, if you had gotten the Xbox, you could have gotten Game Pass, and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But Game Pass didn't have all the games. Like out of all I've bought like 20 games for my PS4, right?
Yeah.
Out of all my games, I think maybe 3 or 4 of them are in Game Pass. That's it. When you take out the 18, if you take out the games, if you take out all the PlayStation 4 exclusives, which was like 5, the rest of them, only like 3 or 4 of them was on the Series X. I mean, was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So for people like me, that wouldn't have been an issue for them. For people who buy their games, play their games, get rid of their games, that wouldn't be that console wouldn't be an option for them
But
because they already played it, beat it, and they don't want to run through it again for the graphics.
you know what? While it's hot on my mind, if
Mm-hmm.
you're an Xbox diehard, if you're one of those bots, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
who live and breathe Xbox, you're going to be looking forward to like hell the next game. You're going to be looking forward to the medium. They're probably going to buy
Mm-hmm.
that to support the Xbox and for the excitement of the game.
I
But
don't
think
even know
about
if
it.
I don't even think they're going to buy it because
You don't think people are going to buy the
they're
medium?
they're already boycotting some games. Talking about, well, if it's not on Game Pass day one, I'm not playing it until it comes to Game Pass. That's what some of the
Yeah, some
diehard
people, hey, but you know what? That's what Microsoft wanted, in my opinion. They wanted that to be the case. They
exactly.
wanted people to get these subscriptions. I used to always tell people, if Bunny, if you're making cookies, right? If you're making chocolate chip cookies and you selling them joints at $5 a pop, and I come in and I start making double chocolate chip cookies and I only charge people 50 cents and you charging $5, I'm gonna take up the whole damn neighborhood eventually. I'm gonna take over. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna
Hmm.
be buying my cookies because they're cheaper. But at the end of the day, I can up that price a little bit. Now I don't like that. I know what you're about to say because you've been thinking that they're gonna up Game Pass the price of the subscription and all that. Damn. But what I'm saying is I can go up to $1 if I want to eventually because people love my cookies so much. You know what I mean?
No,
But
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 that's
they
what I'm
keep buying them,
saying.
keeping it yours, and it's eventually gonna put you out of business.
I mean, no, I agree with you because, like I said, right now you're getting all these people into this mindset of they want nothing but Game Pass. If the
Right.
game ain't on Game Pass, I'm not playing it till it comes to Game Pass.
That's true.
And if it never comes to Game Pass, oh well, I'm not paying for it.
They're gonna get the day and date though. They're gonna get the good thing, y'all, and you could jump. We could jump back whenever you get ready to jump back on Cyberpunk and all that. We can, but I think it's good to breathe a breath of fresh air
Now,
because they've been
yeah,
hearing shows talking about
about
Cyberpunk all
Cyberpunk
damn
all,
week. You
and
know what
that's
I'm
the
saying?
reason it was so hard for me to get a topic up because everything's been Cyberpunk.
But
And
see, as gamers, you got to go with the flow. Is like I said. Now we're gonna go through this chat because see, they said some good stuff in here that I wanted to highlight, but. Bunny, I mean, when you looking outside of Cyberpunk, there's still a lot of things to be talking about as well, like these consoles and like people that
I
still
mean,
haven't. Walmart has now canceled some pre-orders and all that stuff. We can get into a whole lot, y'all. So stay with us if you can. If you dip out, come back. We'll still be talking. We won't be
but
ending until 4 o'clock Eastern
But
time.
here's another thing. Remember how we were just talking about how some Xbox gamers are like, well, if it's not coming to Game Pass, I'm not going to buy it, and blasey blasey blasey, right?
Yeah.
Do you realize that's part of the issue also? I mean, that's one of the changes that need to be made. Gamers need to vote with their wallets. They've already said they're not going to buy it. If these developers are out here seeing these people say this, do you actually think they're going to want to spend all that time making a quality product? Because they're already like, well, people aren't going to buy it till it goes on sale.
Oh, they're gonna have to make quality now. We're learning that right now, right?
I
So
mean,
if
we're
you're
learning
thinking that,
that, but
yeah.
that what I'm saying is Cyberpunk uh didn't go to Game Pass.
I understand, but I'm just talking about quality.
I mean, yeah, we're talking about it, but the thing is, it's a catch-22. If us as gamers are not willing to shed the money for this quality games, the developers are going to say here like, why are we going to put all this time into it?
I
I
mean, but see,
mean,
and that's the trend already. That's just how it is. Hey, we release it, especially digital, and then we're gonna go ahead and patch it on up on y'all. We're gonna put that digital update out there for y'all to download. Sorry if you got slow internet, it's just something that you just got to deal with. So yeah, that's already the case. So again, they CD Project Red gets a pass in my book when it comes to that. Now I got to go back to this chat though. I got to real quick.
mhm.
All right, Fatal Sheree says, "Where's Tron? She late again." I'm sure Tron will pop up.
She
Hopefully,
is
all is good.
probably asleep knowing her.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
she might pop in. But then, hey, Fatal Sheree said, "I look at it this way: if you don't have an 8-core, 16-thread CPU, like a thread ripper or something, you know what I mean, with the 5600 XT or RTX 26 Super, you shouldn't look in Cyberpunk's general direction." Now, let me say something first on that, Bunny. See, I like how Fatal Charade thinks because Fatal Charade gets right to the damn point. He thinks kind of like I do, and it might seem like it's like cocky, you know what I mean, or whatever. But it comes down to again, like you said, Bunny, you hinted at the fact that CD Projekt Red was known for PC games. Moss has hinted at that as well. Then I went back and started thinking about it, and I was like, damn, that's a fact because I remember turning on super like SSAO or HBAAO or something like that, ambient occlusion, and my performance tanked on my PC. So from there, I knew that they had this cutting edge technology, Bunny. I knew that this
Mm-hmm.
what I was seeing was just great. Even though I couldn't run it, it was at like 25 frames per second at times, right? So I had to lower stuff down to medium to high settings. But it was beautiful just knowing that I could be playing something that looks so damn good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I want in gaming though. I want somebody to push the boundary, Bunny. I want them to
I
do
mean,
that.
and I'm perfectly, and you, and let's I'm always against you and tech and saying this, that, and the other, but
Yeah.
let's keep it real here. I'm perfectly okay with games pushing those boundaries. Okay. But if you already know you can't do it in a console or even on a PC of certain specs. How many games have you seen where they tell you what the minimum bare specs is, and if you don't have these minimal bare specs, the game ain't gonna run? How many times on PC have they said that?
I
Okay.
mean, you're right.
All right. So if you know these are the specs that you need, and you know the hardware you're making it for can't do it, then you need to do one of two things. First is either you need to scale down your game
Yep.
to make it so that it
Like
will,
low to medium settings.
I mean, you need to lower your game to make it run on that, cuz it's like the person who's trying to have their cake and eat it too. You're not going to get these gravy train high end specs and graphics and all the money from PC and then turn around and and have the same exact thing on console and you get all the money from console. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If they knew this game was too ambitious for consoles, whether it's the PS4 or the PS5 or the Xbox One or the Series X, they should have just said, we can't do this on console. But the
Right.
problem
Now what kind of
is,
backlash and heat would they have taken? And then money talks, right? When you
I
especially in the
mean,
time when you need money.
but that's what I'm getting ready to talk about. That's the other half of the caveat. If that was the case, they knew they were gonna have to pay money back to Xbox and to Sony. Okay, especially Xbox because Xbox had the marketing rights to it. But you don't think Sony gave threw a little cash their way to make sure Cyberpunk comes to their
I'm
console?
thinking they all threw some money, some
Okay.
you know what I mean?
So the thing is they would have had to give back all that money. But on the flip side and the caveat of that is, yeah, you had all these PC gamers and everything, but a lot of your stock also came from console gamers. You should have had two teams, one focused on doing the console versions and one focused on the
Do we
PC.
know if that was the case? That could very well have been the case because a lot of big time publishers and devs, I mean, they
But
happen to be the
City
dev and the
Project Red,
publisher. CD
but
Project Red is
City
the dev
Red
and the publisher.
Project don't have that many people on their staff. This game was too
Yeah,
ambitious
so
for
it's
I think
shame
their
on them
staff.
for not
That's
having
what I'm
common sense
saying.
then. Yeah, that's why I don't give them a complete pass now. That's
I
just
mean, but
common
that's
sense.
the thing. This game, when I saw what they were trying to achieve, I was like, man, this game is way too ambitious. I said like 2 years ago, I said this game should be PC only
Nah,
because of
they let
how
the money talk.
ambitious.
Nah, they would have been fine, I think, money. If money was a factor, I think they let the money talk
Mm-hmm.
and they saw those numbers and that bottom line and they started talking bonuses to the team and all that stuff and all that. But what they should have really did, if that was the case, they should have said, you know what, we're just going to do what we do. Our quality is everything. It's our name. It's our
Mm-hmm.
reputation, right? I'm
Yep.
sorry, Xbox One X. I mean S, and even the X
I mean, even the X,
and the
PlayStation
PS4
4
Pro, and the
Pro,
base model
and
Pro.
like I said, they're
Let me
saying
take
that the game
PlayStation
is
4.
crashing completely on PS5 every 1.5 hours or so of gameplay.
And I just would have said, look, I'm sorry. Maybe in 2021, we'll try to get the game. We'll see what the
I mean,
future
and
holds.
see, here's the shit that's killing me, right?
What's that?
You have seen gameplay of The Witcher on the Switch,
Mm-hmm.
and that shit looks beautiful compared to what we're seeing on base PS4 and PS5 for Cyberpunk.
Right. Hey, but
How
wait,
the
well, before
fuck?
you get deep in thought, man, we got Phantom Kraken in the building and still
What's up,
exec
Phantom?
down
What's
here.
up?
You know what I mean? But go ahead though. Y'all know it's about
Okay.
to get heated. But Phantom Kraken, I was talking Xbox earlier. You missed it, man. I'm gonna get back on it though. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bunny.
But you yourself has seen The Witcher 3 on the Switch, and you know how ambitious, you know the graphical settings of that game. You have seen my gameplay of it on the Switch,
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
And you were like,
I
"Wow,
was
that looks
impressed.
good."
I was impressed.
Okay, how the hell is the scope of The Witcher 3 running on the Switch and wasn't made for the Switch, but they ported it themselves to the Switch? How the hell is that graphical fidelity better than what's on the base PS4 and Xbox S, which are more powerful consoles than the Switch for for Cyberpunk?
My only
That's what
answer
kills me.
My
That's what
only
kills
answer
me.
is it was supposed to be a target of late 2020 for that to happen. Now before that target, of course, it was supposed to be April or somewhere around there, October, like you said, right? But then they realized, Bunny, that ray tracing and all this stuff they wanted to add to the next gen console versions of the game, it started taking a little bit more time. Now,
No,
I'm
no, no,
yes, of
no,
course,
no.
this is theoretical and hypothetical and all that stuff. But if you, I think I speak with common sense. So I'm just thinking, if I was a fly on the wall in CD Project Red, I would have heard people saying, "Yo, man," in meetings, like, "Yo, I don't know, like this shit right here, it's probably gonna be janky because the PS5 and the Series X CPU wise, they're not able to hit the mark CPU wise, and then the base consoles or whatever just don't have a chance because man, they're too outdated." So I'm sure that was going on, Bunny.
But here's the thing. This game was slated last year for October. Those consoles weren't even talked about that much then. Next thing, I could even agree with you on that aspect if the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X updates came out already. They're talking about maybe 2021 for the enhanced PS5 and
Right.
the Xbox Series X
So it
version
makes me
of
seem like I'm
Cyberpunk.
right. You know what I mean? It
No,
makes
no,
me
but
seem
what I'm saying is if that version had launched along with all this, I could agree with you because they were trying to fit all of that in also. But the base models was what was going to be released for last year. Okay, it's like
yeah.
Zajic said in the comments. They focused when they said it was ready. It was only the PC version.
Right. And see, now we know that, and that's just how it is all the time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's always you start from they
But
made the
my
games for
point is
like
this.
hardware, if not straight up PC hardware.
I mean, but
So
see, here's the thing. That game, when it was being marketed, it was being marketed before the base PS4 and the base Xbox came out. It was marketed for those consoles.
I
And they
understand.
say they came out for PC also. It was marketed for those consoles. So my point is it was marketed for those consoles. It's easier to upscale than to downscale in programming. And you know this, I know this, everybody
Yep.
should know this. So if they were marketing it for those consoles, they weren't even working on those consoles. And my point is if it was marketed for those consoles, those consoles should be running better than what they are. Look at what they did for The Witcher on the Switch. That
Yeah. I
shit
mean,
was crazy.
yeah, that's a good
They
point.
have the talent,
So
or either
yeah,
they
but that's
have the women. They either have the talent, or the talent got tired of the bullshit and left, and they lost the talent.
all right. Check this out. When did the Switch version come? Is what I'm saying. Came
Switch
after the
version.
fact. Came
Yeah, that's
way after the fact. After everybody else had it, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the point is they still had to downgrade it.
Yeah, they did.
They had to downgrade it to put it on the Switch from the base PS4 and Xbox
And
versions.
that's what I don't understand when it comes to expectations. I don't understand how some people could be that damn pissed off. Like, if I know all right, now look, if you can only afford a base Xbox One, the original OG
Mm-hmm,
Xbox One, if you can only afford that, you can never afford to upgrade. I'm not talking about you. Same with the PS4,
mm-hmm.
and all that, right? But um, I just don't I see my brain. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around all of this because I'm like, are we? doing too much? Are we going over the top when it comes to pointing the finger? And now you can request your refund. Shit, I got refunds of like 3 or 4 refunds up from Stadia and everywhere else. You know what I mean? So I get my refund if the game ain't running over 30 frames per second. You know what I'm saying? Or if it runs at 30 frames per second, it should be locked and smooth. If it's janky as hell, I'm getting my money back quick. So now, I definitely will be one to get a refund. But Bunny, I just when it comes to Cyberpunk, it's because people were so damn hype about this game. This was supposed to be the game to save the holiday season, to save the
Mhm.
year. It was supposed to be game of the year, late game of the year, 2020, and all that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It was supposed to be everything. It was supposed to be just like something new and fresh from one of the most well-renowned, well-known studios and developers in CD Projekt Red, right? That's what the problem is right here that we're seeing now. So that goes to what somebody said in the chat. In a few months, Fatal Charade, it'll go away in a few months, like Arkham Knight went away in a few months after they fixed all the bugs. I don't know now, Bunny. What's your thoughts on this? Because I don't know if it'll be over in a few months because
I
people are
mean,
always going to say, remember, yo, damn, not this again. Or man, Cyberpunk was the all time. I do get what Fatal Charade is saying now, but I don't know. I think people are still going to be talking about it. And they're going to be bringing up memes
let
and everything and all that stuff for a few more months when it
I
comes to
mean,
console
here's
wars and all that.
it's not even to do the console wars. Here's what everybody's gonna remember this game for. Let's keep it real.
Yeah,
Sony removed it off his storefront. Arkham Knight didn't get removed off his storefront.
I don't even
None
think
of these, none of
Days didn't get removed off the storefront.
none of these other janky ass, big ass, broken games. None of them.
But none of
Yeah,
them were going to be on the scale and the scope of Cyberpunk 2077. This is what I
I
want
mean,
people to
but
understand too now. None of these
that's
games holds a candle to what Cyberpunk was supposed to
and
be.
let's be honest with the scope of what Cyberpunk was supposed to be. It should have been PC only.
I agree. Or next gen consoles because
No,
they
because
do
the
have
next gen
RDNA 2 and
the,
they got these
the
better
next gen
CPUs.
consoles,
They got ray tracing like support.
let's keep it real.
I stand, Bunny.
The next gen consoles, which are already out, are having issues running it.
But that's no fault of the consoles.
I
That's the
mean,
fault of the damn developers and whoever
but
that didn't
that's what I'm
optimize
saying.
well for them.
That's what I'm saying. This game, the scope of this game should have been PC only. This scope of this game is like the scope of what World of Warcraft is. And you don't see them talking about bringing World of Warcraft to consoles, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and we haven't seen anything. Now we've seen something on PS5. We've seen a few games over there. They remastered Demon Souls. That's looked spectacular. They did the Miles Morales, which was a game that they was a PS4 game. So I don't know, Bunny. Like if we have seen what these consoles are capable of yet. I do know. Hell no is the answer. We have not seen what the consoles are capable
No,
of.
of course
So
not.
it makes me think because I almost said, yo, you should feel the way Forza Horizon 4 feels when I play it. You should see how good it looks, Bunny. You should see how
That's the
fast it
old game.
loads. And Destiny 2 looks so dope, but these are all games that exist already. Now, hell yeah,
Exactly.
they perform very well, but we need that ground from the ground up game right
Mhm.
now to go ahead and show us what these consoles can really do.
Exactly. I mean, and like I said, right now, the only ground up games that we've seen released for this gen is Godfall, which is on PC and PlayStation 5, Sackboy Adventures,
Yeah,
but
and
that's
they don't really get,
but that one don't classify
and they're
because
dope. I
it's
can't take nothing away from them, but
no.
come
But
on, man,
here's
they're
the
not
thing.
triple A bang bang boogie. You know what I'm
No.
saying?
But with Sackboy and with Miles Morales, they're cross platform, they're cross gen.
Right.
I mean, the thing is the people conversation now is should cross gen stop? No, it shouldn't stop because the thing is these companies are not doing launches like they used to. Do you remember back when like the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2 and even the Xbox launched? You launched with like 10 games
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
all different genres.
Mm-hmm.
You had like a RPG that would release, an
You had
action
a
adventure,
shooter.
a
You had a
sports
shooter every
game, you
time.
had a shooter. You had
Mm-hmm.
all
Had
that
a
every
racer.
launch.
Yeah, or a
Okay.
fighter. Yeah.
And that was all new games for that platform that couldn't go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This gen, let's look at the launch of this gen. We have Xbox that's launching with nothing new. So it's not even showing off what it's capable of even before when you buy the console. So when you buy the console, you're basically waiting till something comes that can only play on that.
Right now, these consoles are for the tech enthusiasts and the tech heads. You know what I'm saying? Right now,
Okay.
at this point, I feel that way because I'm content with the Series X performance that I'm seeing because
Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting for. Yeah, I guess down with the SSD speeds when it comes to loading and texture filtering and all that texture streaming and all that stuff in these games. Right, I do get down with that, Bunny, and it is cool to see quick resume in action. Even though I'm not one of those ones that's going to celebrate. Quick resume is the truth. Oh my god.
I
It's
mean, some
convenient as
people
hell.
are.
It's good for content creation, like I thought it was going to be. Sometimes I don't even know it's working. I jumped from The Witcher to to another game, and I jumped back to The Witcher, and I was right there by my horse where I left off, and I was like, "Oh, damn! Quick resume works, right?" It doesn't work in every game, like people have said. So, but Bunny, I'm still blown away by the tech. Like when I
I mean, and see, and that's the thing. Half of it. Okay, so when these consoles come out, right?
yeah,
It's like now let's look at how the consoles launches have happened. And
uh-huh.
this goes strictly back to the gamers. In the beginning, we didn't care about teraflops or tech or anything like that. We wanted to see what games are coming out. Now it looks like that these consoles launched with the tech heads in mind, not showing us any games of what the system can do, but everybody who's tech heads are super happy and content with them.
Oh yeah. Hey,
But
look,
then
hey,
when
Random
you
Kraken just reminded us of something, man, that Saber Interactive did the ports,
of The
not CD
Witcher,
Project Red.
yeah.
So that puts that spin on it that we don't think about. See, we with so much responsibility being put on CD Project Red, and that's all you hear. You don't hear Saber
But
Interactive,
if
so,
that was the case,
and that makes sense because
that makes
so they
sense.
did have another team.
Let's put it into this perspective. If they were so focused on the PC versions and stuff of the game, why didn't they get Saber Interactive to port those versions to the PS4 and the Xbox series? I mean Xbox One. They could have reverse engineered it back to those consoles to where it looks better than what it is.
Well, you mean from the beginning or whatever, or I don't know how it worked. Like that's
No, but that's what I'm saying. Because see, here's what's killing me. They're saying that this is the PS4 and the Xbox versions running on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, but on the PS4 it looks like straight garbage. I'm personally thinking these are the PC versions running on these machines.
And well, if that's your thought, then it goes into what I was saying with the PC side of things. You know what I mean? Like if
And
that's
if
the case,
that was the
I would
case,
love for that to be a direct port, like from
I mean,
PC to
and if that was
consoles with
the
high settings or whatever equivalent to,
I
and
mean,
then some
and
ray tracing set at medium or whatever the case is. Like,
if that's the case, they could have gotten another team to port it back further to the PS4. Because see, the problem with the PS4 versions, whether it's the Pro or the base, and the Xbox versions, whether it's the One X or the One S, you know what the issue with that is?
what?
It boils down to money. They took Sony and Microsoft's money to make it for those consoles. So they're halfway through the development. If they canceled those versions of those games, they were going to have to pay that money back, and they may not have had that money to pay back.
Yeah, well, look, real quick. So, Still Exec and Zajic just had a very interesting conversation that we got to shed some light on because it's how people are thinking right now. See, this is the thing about the chat is it just reminds us that there's other gamers out there that thinks in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
So, Still Exec said this is the moment where that the gaming industry will learn from. These devs will start polishing these games and quit taking consumers for dummies. Now, I thought about what he said right there. Then I said, I don't know about all that because you're gonna have these dads trying to meet these damn timelines, and you got these annual companies that split up these game development processes and they're like Activision and Treyarch and all that's just one example. But then Zajic came down and said, no, this isn't going to change anything. Sony removed the game because it put a bad light on their return policy. The only way anything changes is if people stop pre-ordering. And then Steel exec agreed. And that's what kind of like what Moss was saying when it comes to these pre-orders and stuff like that. And instead of crying and going for a class action lawsuit, which is okay at times, but in a case like this, I can't. Who am I to say whether it's okay to sue or not? I don't know. I feel like that's going over the top a little bit, especially if you only put $60 into this game. Now, if you invested millions into this game, hundreds of thousands into the game, and then you was told you can't get your money back, oh, I'm gonna sue your ass for that. But for a $60 gain, they open their doors and everybody and their moms is giving you a refund offer. Man, I don't know.
That's the problem. In the beginning, they weren't.
Oh yeah, and see, that's the problem.
In the beginning, they weren't giving refunds out. And see, I can tell you this much right now. Here's where Sony's thinking from. I know for a fact in some countries, like if I remember correctly, Sony got slammed by the government policies of Australia for releasing a game that was broken, that was unplayable, and refusing to give people their money back. Sony got hit in Australia with that. And that was a government law because the government was like, you can't sell something that's not useful, you can't use. Okay. Mm-hmm. So City Project Red gets up here and tells everybody, well, you can go to Sony and see. And here's the whole thing. The reason it got removed, it wasn't because of the refund policy. It was because City Project Red told everybody before consulting Sony that they could go and get a refund. Sony and Microsoft got blindsided with that because Microsoft their refund policy is better than Sony's, but Microsoft was even refusing giving some refunds to people. Okay. Damn. So what happened was
Sony had a strict return policy anyway. You can only do one damn refund in a lifetime with Sony, it seems, because they tell you straight up, this is a courtesy, and then the next time, nope, sorry again. It's never happened.
But City Project Red, what they did was threw Sony and Microsoft under the bus. And they didn't consult Sony or Microsoft before they issued that statement trying to throw the deflection off them to just go to Microsoft and Sony. That's what and like I said, Sony, you see how fast Sony and them had a phone call and they were releasing a statement. And Sony was like, we're just pulling it off the marketplace. Okay. Hell, even Xbox right now is up here giving you a warning buying the game on their storefront.
I like that.
Sony probably went in there and was like, you made an issue. You created a PR nightmare for us that shouldn't have never been.
So
if you had contact.
I'm glad you hit that thought because I'm gonna, after I read what Uncompetitive had to say, I do want to get into that though. When it comes to that issuing that damn warning, all these broken ass games should come with a warning. That's the point we're trying to make right now. See, so yeah, this is going to blow over. It's not going to be a learning experience or a wake up call to the industry and to Microsoft and Sony and Google and whoever else that's out here, Amazon, whoever making these platforms and consoles and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. It's not going to be a wake up call because the bottom line is money. And as long as the bottom line is money, hey, people are going to try it again. It's how much can you sneak by with, you know what I mean? How much can you fool and rob the hell out of the consumers, So in some cases, now there are some good companies out here that try to do good things, but shit, you tell me where they are. You know what I'm saying? But look, Uncompetitive says he was talking to me. Basically, I think they should not have. And I want your thoughts on this, Bunny. First, I think they should not have even attempted to make this game. They went from horses and swords to cars and guns, from villages to a huge city. Now, Bunny, I do understand where Uncompetitive was coming from right here. But what do you think before I give my thoughts on it?
Okay, here's my thoughts on that. The game was super ambitious. I have no problems with it being super ambitious. But they could have moved from cars and things, but it was super ambitious to the point of I think this game should have been a base game and you do updates. I mean, not updates, but you do like you know how World of Warcraft had the base game, and then when they added a whole new world, you had to buy an expansion.
Yeah.
I think Cyberpunk should have been something like that. Think about it. You have the base Night City, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have all the things that you could do in Night City because you level up your character and that and shit, right?
Yeah,
When
you
you
can
get
do
to
all that.
they could make it so that you get to an end of a story arc in Night City of a base game. And then they could have spent years while people were playing through that part, they could have spent years making a expansion that built onto it. Do you understand what I mean? Like
Yep.
break the game up because the game is like 200 gigs now and it's still unplayable. They could have scaled back the production. They could have made a base Night City game. Okay. Just a
Yep.
base game with Night City where you get your cybernetic updates, you get all this stuff, right? But
Yep.
then think about this. You put like 100 hours into that, right? What
Right.
if they came out with an expansion? It was like, hey, we got an expansion to Cyberpunk 2077. We're adding this whole zone along with Night City. You get new cybernetic parts, you get new this, you get new that. You got a whole new quest into this world. Wouldn't you have liked some shit like that?
I got to think about it first because I don't like paying for multiple expansions. But yeah, I do it for Destiny 2, so I could probably get behind it, Bunny. I could probably.
Okay, because they want to add online to this. You already got all these issues with the base game, and now you want to throw online to it
Speaking of
also.
online, remember Red Dead online was some straight garbage.
I mean,
Characters
and
looking
that's
all janky and crazy and shit. So yeah,
I
man.
mean, and then like look at what's that other game? The Last of Us 2. People are waiting for the multiplayer to come out for it. These companies are doing stuff like this, okay? But like I said, you could easily just do an expansion to Night City, okay? Break the game up, get all the money you can from the base game, put that money and funnel it towards and maybe in the second expansion is when you add multiplayer or online to it.
I don't know. I think that'll take away from what Night City was supposed to be. I like the idea, but I think it takes away from the ambitious project that was never going
But
to be
that's the
seen
problem.
in gaming ever.
The problem that's what the problem is. The problem is the game is too ambitious. It's like they were saying with so like we'll go Nintendo's going to be an example here. With Breath of the Wild, okay? They
Uh,
came out with a few expansions for Breath of the Wild. They came out with a season pass where you got new stories and things like that.
yeah.
But they said themselves that they were having way too many ideas for expansions for Breath of the Wild. That's what and all those ideas is what led to Breath of the Wild 2. They're taking all those ideas that they had for expansions and added content for Breath of the Wild 1, and that's leading because it was so much that is going into Breath of the Wild 2.
Right.
Okay? This game, Cyberpunk, what they were trying to do was put everything of the cyberpunk world into one game. And that's way too much stuff. That's like trying to put everything of that's like think about it like this.
I'm laughing at still exec was reading my damn mind. I just saw it, but go ahead. That's why I'm laughing. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, think about this. What if you take the entire medieval period, the entire history of the medieval period, and try to put it into one game?
Yeah.
So that's what I think the problem is. I think it was way too ambitious.
I love it, and the fact that PC is pulling it off, y'all. That PCs can
I
even
mean,
run
and
this damn
yeah,
game without it being super. Now I ain't buggy and janky is two different things in my book. Janky is when the frame rate just tanks and the shit crashes all the time. That's janky, right? But I have not had a crash yet. I've had some bugs right now. And I can live with those bugs because of what I'm seeing with ray tracing and DLSS and all this stuff. And man, this game is running at 4K native, bunny at over 70, 80 frames per second at times and whatever. That right there, depending on settings and all that, is crazy to look at the game and then go back and hear the console players talking about it the way they're talking about it. It's crazy. It's like a divide. So some PC players, I don't know how much they've been complaining, but shit, when it comes to the performance, if they're lucky enough to have one of these newer GPUs and CPUs and stuff like that to
and
run this
see, and
game,
that
that's
goes,
what Fatal Charade was talking about because Bunny, that game is spectacular. When you get a
and
chance, look at
see,
my video that I dropped if y'all haven't already, or look at somebody else's shit. Make sure you look at the 4K DLSS Ultra Ray Tracing or whatever, or even what's the highest? Starts with a P, Psycho Ray Tracing or some shit. Like it is crazy, y'all. This is what the vision of the game was supposed to be. Bugs and all. I don't throw the bugs in that shit. But people will get a glimpse of what this game was supposed to be. So CD Projekt Red, they were going to tackle the product. I mean, the project. They were going to whoop the project's ass. Like this right here, we pulled this off, y'all. What's up? You know what I mean? But
mhm.
now, because the consoles get thrown into the mix, Bunny, it becomes a fiasco, like Zajic is talking about. But look, let me give my thoughts real quick to what Uncompetitive was saying as far as the them switching tracks. I think about Horizon Zero Dawn coming from Killzone 2. I think about when there's talent, then they could pull certain things off. If the developers are talented enough, like Kojima coming from Metal Gear to Death Stranding, and Death Stranding took some heat and all that, right? But it's still a great looking game. It plays well. I mean, that's
Was
just
there many bugs reported from that game?
from Death Stranding.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
don't
like I
know.
said,
I
that was another big game that had a lot of press behind it, but I don't remember if we heard people complaining about bugs like this.
no, I think they were just talking about it being a walking simulator and some other shit. It wasn't what they thought it was, but that game is impressive. I like it. Yeah, I could get behind it. I rocks with Kojima and what Kojima comes up, his visions and stuff like that.
Right,
So it all depends on who you are as the gamer and how much you know about what you're getting into before you jump into it.
right. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying, like, that was another big game that had, like, a ton of fucking, hype and shit for it, but I don't remember people complaining about bugs the way they are.
Not like that. But see, and that's what I'm saying, because I tell you, if you go over there and you see it, and Bunny, I want to
And
ask
see,
you this:
and
how much of the game not being in third person pisses you off? Like, is how does that factor into your opinion on the game or not?
no, because it's not factoring into because I already knew it wasn't going to be first person. I already know I can't play it. Here's my whole thing. I really don't have a dog in this fight. I'll be honest with you. I don't.
But you should.
But but here's the reason why I am having a dog in this fight.
Go ahead.
I know what City Project Red is capable of, and this is not it. I don't want them to make this as a precedent. We've already lost a lot of great game developers, development companies, and publishers. We've already lost a lot of good ones.
Ooh, will you lead
I
me to
know,
the next thought?
I know what they're capable of and what they produce. When I see Cyberpunk 2077, what they produce is not what I know they're capable of. I don't want this to set a precedent for either City Project Red or any other publisher or developer in the future. This is the precedent I don't want to set. I
Yo,
can
we gotta go back.
understand. I can understand, having a buggy and glitchy game, but
Yeah.
your shit is so bad that you done pissed off Sony and they're pulling your shit from the storefront, and physical stores in certain countries are pulling your game off the shelves because of how bad it runs. I don't want this to be a precedent. That's the reason I have a dog in this fight.
Yo, we gotta understand. And then, hey, right here, Phantom Kraken, right here. We must understand the Jaguar cores. The Jaguar cores are 2010 tech. and the game is just too much. They should have made it for next gen. This is what I'm saying right now. This is what I'm
And
saying.
see,
Take,
and
hey,
they,
take some hold up, money. Lessen the load, bunny, is what I'm saying. Lessen that load, though. Lessen your load, and then potentially release that to those consoles if you find a new technology, or if your technology can scale and compress and something like that to get it on those platforms. Only do that when and if you feel like you can. Um, but I agree with I agree with Joe Hansel right there. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
I
and
really do.
that's the thing. The problem is they got paid, and if they went back on that contract, they would have had to pay money out. Because you got to remember when this game was launched, and even when Moss said that the game went into full production in 2016, correct?
Yep.
2016, nobody was talking about an Xbox Series X. Nobody was talking about a PlayStation 5. Hell, depending on when it got started, nobody was talking about a Switch because the Switch didn't get announced until October of 2016.
Right.
So that's something you have to think about also. So if the game got announced in 2012 and they didn't start production until 2016, they already had money in the bag from these companies for that older console. Hell, when did the One X come out? And when did the PS4 Pro come out?
I feel like it's 2021 X 2017, maybe something like that. I know it was going on 3 years old when they pulled the plug on it.
So if let's just say 2017, the One X wasn't even announced when this game started going into full production.
Yeah, but the One X and that PS4 Pro were going to be the saving grace consoles for a game like this to run on. Is all I'm
No,
saying.
no, but what I'm saying,
That-
but no, I understand that. But when they went into, if they went into full production mode in 2016, depending on when they went into full production mode, you got to think the Switch wasn't announced, the PS4 Pro wasn't announced, the Xbox One X wasn't announced. Nobody was even thinking about a PS5, and nobody was even thinking about a Series X. That's 5 consoles that you could eliminate when you said, well, they had to make it for so many consoles. 4 of those 5 consoles weren't even announced if they started full production in 2016.
Damn. It makes me think, and it makes me. I'm gonna tell you what else makes me think. Stadia. We got to go to the back to the Stadia.
Stadia was not even
I
thought
know,
about.
but I know. I'm talking about when Still Exec was when he made the comment about the file size, the 200 gigs or whatever that you talked about, right? And then you said
Hmm.
Stadia, and laughed or whatever that made me laugh. So what I'm thinking about is I'm thinking about two things. Stadia is one, all right, and then these pro iterations of consoles is the other topic, Bunny. If we can get into those next, I'd appreciate it because when you look at this cloud movement, Xbox X Cloud or whatever, you got Microsoft X Cloud or whatever that they're very excited about going into 2021. I'm excited about this shit. And that's just because I've been spending so much time on Stadia. So for all the people that won't jump on Stadia and Luna and GeForce Now and Shadow and all that to try them out, pretty soon you're going to be seeing your major next gen games or the real true next gen games for Xbox running in the cloud, and they're going to do so at fidelity that might not be possible on the damn Series X unless they release that Series X Pro or whatever it's going to be called, right? Because the cloud, you won't have to worry about the file sizes. We already know no downloads, no installs, none of that shit, no patches and updates for people to have to worry about. All that's gone. So enjoy your Warzone all you want, and enjoy your Halo that's going to be added on like crazy now because it's cloud based. So all that right there is one thing. Then the pro consoles, people are talking about, man, it's too soon, 2 years. I hope they
I mean,
don't.
they already got. Let's put it this way, okay?
Yeah,
Let's put it this way. And this is the scariest thing that I have seen, and
go
this
ahead.
is what making me think. Like, remember how I had said earlier
Uh-huh.
that these consoles, like right now, they're not launching with the games gamers want to see, but they're launching for the tech heads, right?
Yep.
Why the hell are they already designing the PS4 Pro.
And they have to be. Some people think
I'm
that's a
not
myth.
talking about. I'm
I'm
not.
saying, no,
No,
no, no. Some people
no,
think that's a myth, is what I'm saying. It's
no,
not
no,
a
no,
myth.
no,
They have
no.
to be
I'm not.
planning that
I'm
shit
not
now. They're coming
saying
out.
that. Why? No, I'm not talking about the companies themselves. I'm talking about the fucking gamers. You just had a new console talking coming out, and you're concerned about the next iteration of
I
it.
know. Not that,
Where
and we
is
will talk. That's why I want you to go into it. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the tech people who want new tech all the time is fueling the way these consoles come out. That's the reason people are mad at Nintendo. Because Nintendo's like, you're not going to dictate to us how what we're going to release and how we're going to release it. Where our focus is the games. Right now, you had a brand new console come out less than a month later. People were already talking about the next iteration. You don't even have games out right now that's fully showing you the capabilities of this console. And yet you're worried about the next more powerful console?
You know I'm gonna get at you on this one. You know it. You know
No,
I
I
gotta get
know
at
you
you.
are, but you got to think about it also, Storm. You don't even have you don't even have a game yet that can show you the true power of these consoles.
And I'm still
But yet,
excited. Go ahead. I'm
but
trying to let you. Let me write my shit down so I
no,
don't lose this thought. Hold on. Go ahead.
but you got people who are worried about what's the next most powerful console, quote unquote, on paper is. And now you can go.
All right, thank you, because I got something to come back and counter you on right now. So, for
Mhm.
all these people that you think are influencing these companies to come out with these consoles quicker than they might, I don't know. Now you hear, yeah, you got a couple people on Twitter and Reddit and other social media platforms that's wishing for the next gen. I mean, because they're like me and they care about the tech side of things, and they just want their console to be the very best. They want the Series X to blow the PS5 away and vice versa, right? Yeah, you're gonna have those people. You should have those people. But I don't think they hold a fight or a candle to what these what these manufacturers are thinking, or these brands like Microsoft and Sony are thinking. I think that they're thinking, yo, let's the developers are they have to say so. The developers are saying, yo, we're working on a project and this shit is gonna be ambitious, kind of like a cyberpunk, but imagine it being twice as big as cyberpunk, right? We can't play that shit on your base model PS5 and your Series X right now. I hate to inform you, but we're gonna need more RAM. We're gonna need a bigger GPU or double GPU. We're gonna need this new ray tracing technology, DLSS 3.0. So then it starts to get them thinking like, hey, we got to do something if we want this game on our platform. If we want this game to work in a way, Bunny, that's going to be, adequate and convenient and productive and stuff like that, and satisfactory to the gamers, more importantly, right? Then you must get that damn technology. You got to get it in motion. You have to get it in motion. So I know a lot of people are like, damn, man, PS5 Pro already, you already talking about the Pro. They damn well better be talking about that damn Pro.
But
Or
here's
else they're gonna be
the
stuck missing out on the next greatest exclusive game that otherwise
you moofied out.
like it does on a high-end piece.
But here's the thing that you got to think about. Do you
Go ahead.
realize had City Project Red came out and admitted that information, do you think people be losing their shit the way they are?
They you know what, they would, because people cry about every goddamn thing.
No, no,
Let's just
no,
keep
no,
it
no.
real.
What I'm saying is the fact that City Project Red hid a lot of shit. That's the difference. City Project Red knew that game wasn't going to
Well,
be
how
released.
much of that stuff how much of that had their hands tied, where they were damn if they do and
No,
damn
no,
if they
no, no.
don't.
But you gotta think about it like this: when Cyberpunk, when City Project Red said in their apology that they didn't focus on the console version, that right there showed me, oh, they didn't give a damn about the console versions. They just wanted that money. Okay, they weren't focused on the console versions. Then they came out and apologized for not showing what the console versions look like so that people can make an informed decision about their purchases. That's another thing. Had they came out and made the statement, okay, guys, this game is not going to run that great on your base PS4 or Xbox One. Okay. If they had came out, had they showed gameplay of it, then the other thing you got to look at is how hardcore they went after all of these people who, Best Buy leaked the game early. Best Buy sent out the pre-orders early, and people were showing gameplay and showing pictures. And here's the developers commenting on these high-end people saying, "Oh well, that's not even a full version of the game. There's gonna be a 50 gig update. Haha, you're not playing the most optimized version of the game." Then when that 50 gig update come out, it still looked like trash.
I hear you. You know I do.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Had they like if they were making a game and they
Yeah.
came out and said, "Hey, we're gonna have to drop these consoles." The problem is they're gonna say, "Hey, we're gonna have to drop these consoles because we're trying to get you the best game possible," and blasey, blasey, blasey. People would have respected that more. And yeah, people would have been angry and upset, but they would have respected that more than them taking their money and then coming out with a statement afterwards talking about,
I don't know.
I
I
fucked
think
up.
they would have lit the motherfucker. I mean, I'm sorry, the Molotovs. They would have lit the Molotovs, y'all. You know, my French is
I mean,
good.
hell,
I
I
try
mean,
to
like,
keep my French good and respectful. You know what I'm saying? But look, today
Molotov, I
I
think
gotta
is
let it out sometime because look, man, they would have pulled out the Molotovs. Y'all know it, and they would have said, "What you mean? We had." We got Call of Duty running on these platforms and all this shit, and you know they would have went crazy. Bunny, let's just be for real now. You
I
already
mean,
know what it is.
and that goes back,
Hey, we're
and
talking
that
about 2020. We're talking about
and
today's time.
that's going back to one of the things that need to change is us as gamers.
Hey, yeah, and you're right. You're absolutely
I
right.
mean, that boils down to one of the issues that's going on in gamers is, I mean, gaming is the gamers. But we also got to look on the flip side of it is these companies hiring influencers because they know people are sheep and they're going to influence the hell out of these people. And then you got fucking influencers and people coming out apologizing, talking about, we didn't know it was this bad on console. They only gave us a PC version of the game that they were hyping the fuck up about.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
I said, they weren't giving out console versions of that game, and everybody who got the version early, they were shutting them down with legal repercussions. Which
mhm.
hey, shit happens. But then you get people who work at City Project Red up here laughing and posting on people's Twitter. Oh, that's not even the full version of the game. Blasey, blasey, blasey. We got this update. You're not even playing the most optimized version of the game. Then when the game comes out and that 50 gig patch come out, and that shit still look like trash. Who's that on?
The inferior console.
No, this was people running it on the PS5. And
But it's not made for the PS5 yet. It's not the
I mean,
actual PS5
but see,
version.
that goes, but see, now, I mean, like now you got to think about, now you're seeing what I'm saying. These games were marketed for the older consoles. Yeah, you want to get rid of the older consoles now because the new consoles is out. But what if this came out last year and those new consoles weren't even in the horizon?
Man, I think what Fatal said, it goes back in line with what I'm saying, what Moss is saying, what anybody who's thinking along the lines of us. I'm sorry when I say it, y'all, but I'm not sorry because man, I keep saying that we got to be careful what we're asking for. We ask for 299 devices, right? But what
Mm-hmm.
we don't realize is that time is going to fast forward if we're fortunate enough, right? We're going to see 2-3 years
Mm-hmm.
down the road, right? And then guess what happens? Developers innovate. And when these devs innovate, unless they're Nintendo, kings of compression and all this stuff, when they innovate, your ass better be ready.
I
Because if
mean,
you're not ready, you're
that's
about to
what
be
I've always
playing the
said.
worst version of the damn game. It's that simple.
I
There's
mean,
no way I could butter that up now.
no, I've been saying this. You want all this fucking power. You want the power of a high end PC, but you don't want to spend no more than $500.
The funny part is you only have to spend that much if you go over to the cloud. If you had the right internet
No, no,
and all that
no,
stuff
no.
and
But
all
my
that stuff,
point
you
is,
go to the cloud and get a better experience.
this was before the cloud.
Yeah, I know. I'm
You
talking about
want
now.
all this power, but you don't want to spend more than $500.
Man, some people don't want to pay $9.99 a month to play that shit on Stadia. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
Like
that's my point.
some
You
people,
want the best versions of the games. You don't want games going up in prices from 60 to 70 to 80. Hell, games been at the same price for a very long time. And
yeah,
you remember, and I remember, and older people in the chat remember, you remember when you were buying games for $80 if you were buying Nintendo shit.
yeah.
Okay, we were paying $50 and $60 for PlayStation 1 games.
Well, you was paying that much for a lot of people shit these days because they was hitting you with the broken version and saying, "Hey,"
No,
they
no,
hit
no.
you with
What I'm talking about,
microtransactions and other stuff too. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, you gotta think about it like this. Back in the day when there was a PS1, we weren't even online with the PS1. I remember Mortal Kombat being 40, I mean, 50, $60.
Yeah,
There were $60 games back then and they weren't broken. They would come out because there was no way for them to fix the games.
right.
Okay? You were paying that much 20 years ago.
But it wasn't
Okay?
that volume. That volume of games was nowhere near what it is today. Now you
No,
have
no,
so much
my
more
point,
developed. The
no,
industry has grown. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but the
yeah, I'm
industry
going
is
back to
booming
the
now.
money. I'm going back to the money factor.
Yeah,
You're crying because games haven't gone up in 20 years. You want the best versions of the games, but you don't want to spend more than $500 for the equipment needed to do that on your TV.
right.
Then you going back to you don't even want to buy games. How are these people going to get the money to do what you want?
And with that being said, and I will try to make it sound a little nice, but at some point we got to start
How the hell
stacking.
you
If
gonna
we're
make
real
it
serious about our games and performance bunny, we got to stack. We got to stack up. We got to put some of that that Cavazier or whatever you drink, some of that, you know what I mean, that fine wine, and you got to put some of that money, take some of that money, stick it under the mattress or put it in the safe or whatever. And you got to start getting ready for this next gen as soon as the current gen has dropped. You
I
have
mean,
to
not
be
even
ready if
that.
you're going to be. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. But it's hard for people to do that. It's hard for people to stack
I
chips.
mean, it's not even that. It's the fact of like for me, I got the PlayStation 4 Pro and people are like, well, why didn't you get the PlayStation 5? It was only $100 more. You could have got a digital for the same price. For me, most of the games I want is on the PS4. Okay. I have a roadmap if I'm going to get a PlayStation 5. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
I got a roadmap. I'm right now waiting until they fix some of the issues with the PlayStation 5. And I'm waiting for them to come out with a different color console because that white console bullshit ain't going to fly with me. And if somebody from Sony or Microsoft is listening to this or is from Sony, do not put out another white console or at least make it so that we can change the plates on it because not everybody likes white consoles and white controllers. I am personally one of the people who hates it. That's the only reason I did not buy it. Okay.
yeah.
But I got a roadmap. I'm waiting on the next version of that console to come out. I'm waiting on that pro version. But I got my PS4 to get me through to them because
Hell yeah.
they're saying the games are going to be released for 2 years at least.
Right.
And every game that I want that I know is coming out is going to be on the PS4. But that is something you have to think about. When your console comes out, okay, you got to first think, okay, if you're one of those day one adopters, okay, you got to think about it like this. If you're a day one adopter, are you going to get that Pro Series that's coming out? Okay. If you're going to get that Pro Series that's coming out, because they have already said that the Pro and the Xbox One versions of those consoles did not sell nearly as much as the base versions of those consoles. Hence why Xbox probably got rid of the One X and kept the base model Xbox, and hence why probably the reason PlayStation 4 is getting rid of the Pro version and keeping the base consoles. That's something spooky you got to think about there. Why aren't they keeping the better versions of their consoles? If you want to play all these great games and you know your your next model up is better than your base model, and you're getting rid of the base model. I mean, you're getting rid of the more powerful versions and keeping the base model. That means they're going to support that base model for as long as they can.
Yeah, if it's making the money, they should. At the same time, though, they had to think about it. There's a divided audience when it comes to gamers. So if I'm Microsoft and I'm Sony, Nintendo, Google, and Amazon, and whoever else, I'm like, how do I equally cater to both of my audiences? Because I have people that have jumped onto, they are latching onto these 299 consoles like wildfire, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
also had these tech enthusiasts, and these mugs is out here buying shit at $500 a pop with peripherals that cost $150 for a controller and more, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do I keep them happy and keep them spending, right? So that's what I'm saying. There's
And
two
they are,
audiences that
are the
right.
smaller. They're the smaller ecosystem.
I know, but they kick out,
Ninety
hey,
nine.
but when they buy shit, it's like two people buying, you know what I'm saying? It's like two for one because I'm buying a console that's 500, you're buying a console that's 300 or whatever, and then I'm buying a damn peripheral like the Elite controller or whatever for 150, and I'm buying a stack of games. You see what I'm saying? Now you got to keep this in mind, Bunny, because a lot of people might spend that $299 on a Series S, but they might buy Call of Duty, the 2K, the Madden, and then they're done for the generation.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all the factors that people don't tend to think about. But Project Storm is out here. He's going to buy the damn base model. In 3 years, he's about to upgrade day one to the damn neck to the pro. When he does, every game that he had already, he's going to continue to support these games and buy DLC, and he's going to be also buying the new games and shit like that. So you got to keep everybody happy, is what I'm saying.
And that's the thing. I think right now the casuals are not like okay, so you know how you were saying you're buying this and you got all this. So I just bought my PS4 Pro, right?
Yeah,
Do you realize I've bought about 20 games? I've bought a second controller, I've bought a charging station, and I've bought a 4 terabyte hard drive for it.
that's what I'm talking about. And we know the peripherals make money. The games make
Okay.
money, but those peripherals, those accessories make cash as well.
And
So
see that but my point I'm making is the people like you and I who do that type of stuff, we are small
those
potatoes in
minority,
numbers
I know that.
compared to the people who buy that 299 system and buy nothing but Madden, Call of Duty, and FIFA.
Right.
So they, like I said, that and like I said, that's the thing is they're keeping those base models to keep.
I think they wouldn't even make the pro if they didn't think that people would buy them. I think they would just cut the pro idea. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't look at those bottom lines and say, "Damn, this many people bought the Series X and the PS4 Pro." Oh hell yeah, we're gonna drop another pro. Just like the Slims,
Right.
Bunny. Remember how they used to get
Yep.
extra money out of people with the Slims and shit? So they make the first one fat on purpose and then they slim it down, knowing that everybody's gonna flock right back to the Slim.
Right. And that's the thing. So and see for those people they're catering to the hardcore because they already know you're going to buy it no matter what. They
Mhm.
already know it. They
Mhm.
know you're going and Nintendo, that's one thing I don't think Nintendo has ever done. So like I said, the next generation of Switch is going to be their next console. It's not going to be like a pro version or whatever like that. Because they just release their consoles, take that sucker for a ride, and then make their next console.
Yeah, but
Oh,
let me get back on chat alert. We got Romello Thomas joined in. What's going on, Romello?
hello,
What's good?
Romello.
Hey, let's get back to this chat, man. We keep talking to we're gonna go through this damn chat today. Hold on. Let me see. So because there was some good stuff in here, Bunny. Then Uncompetitive has said earlier. Damn, but let me go back up, make sure. Okay. Oh, so Phantom Kraken has said there's a lot of The Witcher that is empty, but Cyberpunk is living as a living metropolis, right? AI, NPCs, events is too much, right? So he agreed with what you're saying as far as maybe breaking it down. I'm thinking would be easier and more manageable. I don't know if that's where you were going with it, but were you trying to say that maybe it would be more manageable? It would be less taxing for the developers themselves to come out and make something so gigantic. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, like I said, scale it back because you already know people buy DLCs and expansions of games.
Yeah,
Scale it back, and instead of doing a season pass, you could do different expansions of the game and make it so that the expansions will either carry your character over, or if that's the only part of the game you want to play, you could play just that expansion, have it as a standalone.
gotcha. All
You
right, and then
understand what I mean now? And
yeah, I
then
do.
that way people who get it, like people who get it, and or you can include do like what they did with Elder Scrolls Online, I'm noticing. With the Elder Scrolls Online, um like I bought the base game. Well,
Uh-huh.
if you go and buy the Greymore Collector's Edition, people love collector's editions, digitally for $80 on the PlayStation Store,
Hmm.
you get Greymore and every expansion that ever came out for it, from the base game all the way up.
That's a lot of content.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. You do stuff like that over there, and with each expansion, like Summer Rest, the base game, whatnot, you get that content, and then you still got the base game, but you can't go to that world. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So you could play that world. Like, so if they did Cyberpunk, something like that, right? You had the base game, the basic Night City. You go through, do everything, put part of the customizations in, this, that, and the other. Then you come out with an expansion. In that expansion, you can either play just that expansion alone, or if you had the base game, you can move your character over and continue playing and make it so that they added new quests and stuff in the base game, because that's what they did in World of Warcraft. They would add new quests and new NPCs to the base game and continually add upon it. They were putting way too much in that base game. Think about all the storefronts that they made there and everything, right?
Yeah, they didn't put too weight. They didn't put too much in there. They were catering to the PC audience that they
No,
were
no, no, no,
knowing that
no.
they
Listen,
that. Now I know what I'm saying. Now it's important that we hear it. It's important that we hear it because Bunny, these newer processors and GPUs can handle what the hell they made. PC gamers get tired of feeling like console. We got to get the console seconds and leftovers. Now that's the elitist club. The master race is what they call themselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm
right.
not a member of the damn master race. I just like the performance and shit. But here's the deal. Here's that's what I'm saying. So you got to keep in mind, Bunny, that now we're trying to limit by saying let's make it less ambitious. We're trying to limit what these PC
But
players are trying to, you know what I mean?
you can make it less ambitious. I'm even talking about on the PC front for it. Think about it like this: you
I
build
don't
up
want to
the
talk about
world.
those
No,
limitations. I
no, no,
want to
no.
go,
What I'm saying is you build up the world, right?
yeah,
And you have your NPCs and you have this, and the game is looking great, running smooth, not broken, nothing like this. They decide to come out with an expansion. You know, all those storefronts that they made that looks pretty and everything,
yeah,
they could easily go in, add that store, build it out to make it where you could go in, get new quests, new this, new that, new NPCs, and build it up that way. You understand what I
no,
mean?
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm trying
That
to figure out how does it benefit these consoles, especially these weaker ones, or are you not even thinking about them anymore?
I'm thinking, because what would happen is the expansions would take a few years to make, right?
Hmm.
In between that time, usually the Pro Series comes out by the next one. Right now, like right now, they're already talking about a Pro, possibly 2023, 2024, right?
Yeah,
Let's say they did the base game. By 2023, 24. Look at how long this damn game took to make. Okay? By that time, you would have your expansion ready to go. Okay? That expansion, you would say, oh, you can only play this on the Pro. It's Pro Enhanced. You can't play it on the base. Like, you know how you were saying to just cancel out the base model and do that? That does one of two things. The people who really, really love that game on the base, that would incentivize them to buy that next gen console. I mean, the next iteration of that console. Do you
yeah,
see
okay.
what I mean?
I see what you're saying
You
right there.
you can continue to build upon it. Right now, the technology is limited. Well, by the time this next console comes out, it would be better. We can do more. Okay.
Hmm.
And even if you did an expansion, it's all computer code. You can make it so that when you update to the expansion for the older consoles, all the older stuff that, like, let's say you completed all the quests that this one building had in the game for you and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you never have to go back to that again. That doesn't mean they can't close it out until they want to reopen it. It's all computer code. In World of Warcraft, I can tell you right now, in World of Warcraft, they changed over time to minimize assets. They changed dungeons. But if you knew the hacks to get into, to go into, you could hack it, not hack it, but like if you shut down your PC at certain times and things like that, when you rezoned in, you would be in the old version of the game because it would revert back to the old version.
Now
So
I
you
got what
would,
you're saying.
so like I remember Shallowmancy used to be one huge raid, not raid, but dungeon, right? In newer patches, they chopped it out. They made it into two or three separate dungeons and chopped it out. But all the assets are still there. If you go in and hard reset your PC and log back in, you would be in the old version of the game that connects all of the dungeons together into the one massive dungeon that it was.
Damn. Man, hey, look, man, I love this damn chat. Hey, Bunny, you know I love you now. You already know that. I wouldn't be on the
Uh-huh.
motherfucking Ying Ming. I mean, Ying Ming's Yang. I'm out here. Look, first of all, look. Hey, Joe Hansel, man. God damn it, man. We're gonna have to. Hey, look, man. Hey, look, check this out. Now you see what he said down here. If you have to scale back everything, then we're not moving forward and not innovating game development and ambition. Now check this out, Bunny. Please let me say something on that right
Go
there
for
because
it.
damn, I was hey, as you was talking, I was envisioning what you were saying, and I'm like, damn, I could see that working, right? And it definitely would incentivize people to jump to because you know me, I'm always like, what can make people jump to the next gen? Because we know so many friends, all of us in the chat, we got so many people that we can name on both hands who
Hmm.
ain't gonna upgrade, who's not upgrading day one. They don't care nothing about upgrading day one, right?
You have to give them
So
an incentive to upgrade.
so that would be dope. But going back to what Phantom Crack, man, look, that right there is everything I'm saying. Like, so as gamers, we're a fickle bunch, right? We have
We are
everybody
very
has their
fickle
own
bunch.
little clique and whatever, you know what I'm saying? You got the hardcore, the elite. You can't tell me nothing. I'll never play on your peasant ass consoles and your peasant PCs either. You got that club, right? Then you got the console gamers who will never upgrade. The casuals, they don't care about upgrading. They care about playing Family Feud and other games like that, Cake Bash and stuff. They want to just have fun when they can. Then
Mhm.
you got, I'm gonna say the not I'm gonna say you got the hardcore, okay? You got the hardcore that cares about the tech like me. Everything's about tech, man. I want to be running at 60 FPS and all that. All my games, I wanted to have great frame rate and decent and great visuals as well. And then you got the people that's just like, man, I jump on from time to time. So, Bunny, there's so many groups. How can, and that's if these companies can listen to YMYOG, they might want to go to the drawing board and say, how can we, and Phil, like, hey, Phil Spencer seems to be the guy that thinks about this shit. I don't know about executing all the time, Bunny. I know people got their different thoughts on Phil, but he brings it to the table at least when he's having these conversations. How do we capture these different audiences? How do we get billions of mobile gamers? How do we get these console gamers to come over to the cloud? That I like how he thinks. You get what I'm saying? I don't give a damn if he executes or not. If I'm gonna be in the meeting with somebody, it would have to be somebody like Phil Harrison from Stadia and all that, right?
Mhm.
Certain people just have that gift. So I don't know. I get excited when I think about stuff like this, man, because it's like you got to innovate, Bunny, to keep people like me even interested in gaming. If it wasn't for Stadia, I would have fell the hell back. I would have been like, yo, gaming, this ain't it for me. I just would have went full time PC. And then I wouldn't have looked back. I would have been done with console gaming and all that because I felt like the innovation just wasn't there. The major jump in tech wasn't there. And if the jump in tech was there, Bunny, the games wasn't catching up to the tech. You know what I mean? Because they were
But
being
you
held back. They were being held back. So, what's your thoughts on all of that? God damn, I
I
just want to
mean,
be able to
that's the
say it.
thing. You got okay. Yes, you're right. If you hold back, you don't do innovation. Okay.
Right.
But you
Creativity,
also,
you giving them another stage, like new technology, Bunny. Is the
but
so
you have to also understand your own limitations.
what do you mean by that?
Okay, prime example. Like everybody here knows I'm a dental assistant, right?
Right, right.
I have doctors who I've worked with that come through and I used to be the surgery assistant. So I would always see what their techniques are for surgeries. It
Mm-hmm.
got to a point to where when I'm looking at x-rays, I could know if that doctor could do that surgery or not
Yeah,
because of their skill level. Okay. And they would look at the x-ray and I'd be like, "Are you sure you could do that?" They're
right.
like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 I'm fine." They get over ambitious in their thought processes.
Yeah, I
Because
got
they're
where
like,
you going.
"Okay, I'm the professional. I know what I'm doing. This is going to be cakewalk when you see it on paper. It's going to be easy, it's easy, or easy." I'm looking at it from the aspect of, yo, this shit going to go to an oral surgeon.
Yeah,
Okay. Then when we start the surgery and everything, they realize they what they thought they could do, they can't do. So you can write out. My point being is, you can write out everything you think you can do. But moving those thoughts to, if you already have a grand scheme on paper, moving those thoughts into actual actions, you might have some hiccups. Okay. Do you understand what I mean?
yeah.
Like, what you have envisioned in your mind may not always happen when you go to do it.
But how does that? What is how does it relate to me though, as a gamer, as the type of gamer I am? That's what I want to know.
What I'm saying is, I'm not talking about you.
Oh, oh, okay.
I'm talking about these developers and things like that going to
Oh,
hit a
gotcha.
point where you want to innovate. Yes, you want to innovate, but you also have to think about the limitations to what you can actually do. That's like somebody who thinks they're a great cook, and then when you eat their shit, you want to puke it out. Okay. You might have an ambitious idea, but you need to look at what's available to you to make that idea work.
Right.
Okay. Like car manufacturers, what's one thing that we saw back in Back to the Future that we always thought would be a thing by now?
Flying cars.
Okay. And hoverboards, right?
Yep.
Look at what the technology has come to for now. The only thing we got is we're still on the ground. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, technology, the idea is there, but the idea is more ambitious than the technology that's out here for it.
Yeah. And sometimes the cost factors into that too. I got what you're
Okay.
saying. Same thing with
Cyberpunk,
gaming. It
like
costs.
with Cyberpunk and with a lot of games, okay? The ambition is so big. Hey, it's a great ambition, but you got to look at the realistic side of it as to how much can you actually do.
Now check this out though. Now you got me thinking because you're absolutely right. Now you got me thinking again about price and all that. And you know how I feel about price. If you give me $1,000 console, if that month, if it's putting out $1,000 worth of performance, I'm happy. Now, what you don't want to do is isolate and alienate gamers like us who are willing to spend that type of money. Because car manufacturers don't shit, they'll sell you a Bugatti that costs 2.4 easy, 2.4 mil, that is, not thou.
No, but
You
you
know what
got
I
to
mean?
think about it like
Middle.
this also. There are people who will buy that $2.4 million car, right?
Yeah. Because they're
But
gonna get that performance and that luxury and everything else combined. They want that speed. They're gonna pay for it and they're gonna love that mug. You know why? Because nothing on the planet can offer them what the hell they're riding in right now.
that's not
That's what
the
I'm saying.
average person. That's not the average person.
I
Think
get it,
about
but
it like no, but think about it like this. You know how we're online with all these consoles and things now, and they're looking at all the statistics and things like that. That we have to connect online. We got the trophy system. We got this. We got that. Right?
yeah,
They take all of our data. They know what systems we're running on. They know we run on a Pro or the S or the X or whatnot. They know all that information. That's how Call of Duty knew that one year don't put a single player mode in because nobody completes it.
Right. They all go to
Okay.
multiplayer
So
first.
what they do is they take all of that data and do an average on it. And like I said, you're the type of gamer where you're willing to pay that $1,000 percentile to get that newest console, get this, get that. But when they look at their average, you're not the
I
average.
understand that, but you don't make that. You make a limited edition amount of consoles. Then all you gotta do is just say, "Hey, look, man, you can label that motherfucker for the elite club or something like do." I
I
mean,
mean, they
look,
did that.
they're trying
They
to
did that.
separate. They're separating us anyway. You know what I mean? When it
I
comes to
they already did that with like the X, like the PlayStation did it for like some limited
yeah,
edition.
Microsoft did it with the X. Hey, this right here is a monster, y'all. It's gonna be 500. Now, this right here, and they told us who it was for. I told you I rocks with Phil, man. I don't give a damn. Oh, you always hear me defending Phil Spencer, right? When everybody be throwing heat at him, saying he don't deliver on stuff and all that. Yeah, all right, that's cool and everything, because y'all don't see everything come to fruition real quick and all that. And sometimes he flat out just straight up lies in caps, all right. But overall, I feel like Phil be talking to me. So because Phil be talking to me and then he delivers a product that's for me now, before I buy that bunny, I'm doing the research. I'm looking around. I'm seeing if this shit is really going to be an upgrade. I ain't just going out there saying I got 500, Phil. Yeah, I'm your number one fan. Hell to the no.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm trying to decide whether I want to go Stadia or PC or do I want to go Series X. So that's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, you can do like limited editions and stuff, other things, but like I said, they not for them. They are not catering to the hardcore. They're catering to those to the people who are not the hardcore. I mean, you got to think about it. It's sad to say, but that's what they're doing.
But at least they're looking out for the hardcore, who they think are the hardcore. At least they're looking out for us. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they
Like,
look out for you, but that's the one thing. Like you get up here and you see people saying things, and they're not even like really worried about it. Like this whole thing with Cyberpunk. Sony and Microsoft released that broken ass game. On
here we
the
go.
console,
I
okay?
thought we was done with it. I
No, no,
thought we
no.
were
But
done.
my point, no, this goes back.
Nah, I know what you're saying.
This goes back to a point. The only reason shit started changing is because everybody started losing their fucking minds. Okay, that
Right.
average consumer that they know bought that pro
Yep.
has
300 of us wouldn't have made a damn move. They wouldn't have moved the needle at all. 1,000 of us wouldn't have moved the needle. 10,000 to a million wouldn't have
you
moved the
get
needle.
100 million people moving that fucking marker,
Hell yeah.
they're going to think about it. So, like
Right.
I said, the people with the pros and shit probably wasn't the ones really bitching about it.
Right.
It was that base console where Microsoft knows most of those 120 million consoles were
And
based.
who are the same ones they're trying to get to buy that Series S that they are trying to advertise? Yeah, or that PS4 $399 one without the disc.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean it is what it is. But Bunny, that leads me to say this right here. So then the cloud, they're trying to shoot the cloud down now. Hold on. Now this ain't about no damn Stadia. I know sometimes people think Stadia is synonymous with cloud, but you got Amazon in the cloud, Microsoft's in the cloud game, Sony's in the cloud game. So you see what I'm saying? So be careful because some people might cut off their own goddamn head. You know what I'm saying? Like trying like that. Well, what I mean by that is you're trying to kill the cloud. You want the cloud to die a horrible death, right? But what if the cloud is this way to innovate? What if the cloud is going to be convenient? What if the cloud is going to stop you from buying a $200 proprietary SSD that gives you a terabyte more space that you still
I
only
mean,
going to be able to fit 8 to 10 games on, depending on the games. But
but
you see what I'm
that's
saying?
the
The cloud is going to eliminate all that shit like that right there, and then give developers way more leeway and freedom to develop their games because That's what the cloud is about. That's well, I just keep it simple. That's what the cloud does.
No, but then you gotta think about it this way, okay? So yes, you have gamers who are just in the cloud, right? And saying it's gonna fail and this, that, and the other. But who's fueling the gamers to say that? Think about all these people out here. Who's influencing the gamers to fight the cloud as much as they are?
Uh, that's a good question. Good question. I'm sitting up here. Look, it got all quiet like you used a teacher and shit.
I
Get everybody to think.
mean,
Hey, I'm trying to figure
they
out
would
what this
they
damn
would
backbone controller is that Romelo talking about right now for Stadia, man. Like it's just clear. Is that what backbone means? You can see right through it and all that. If that's the case, hell yeah, I'll try one. But
but here's think about it like this. Think about everybody who's been fighting the cloud. It's been how many influencers have
oh,
you seen saying negative shit about the cloud?
we're gonna have to go
And,
over like 5 minutes.
and, and who controls the influencers?
That's true. We're gonna have to go over like 5 minutes maybe because Charles just said something right here too. I told you the chat has been in deep thought today. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie. I wanted to highlight y'all, but we get so damn passionate, so animated about what we're talking about, y'all. You know what I mean? I'm glad y'all understand. But Charles said, Storm, but what if another car company says we have the speed and performance of our competitors with the price of your average car? Damn.
Mhm,
Whoa. And that right there goes to what we're talking about when it comes to Stadia and the cloud. And soon
mhm,
X Cloud will be there. Like I said, man, I'm gonna celebrate when all of them get there. I mean, to me and Moss and other people that's been here for a while doing this cloud thing, that's why when people jumped over to Cyberpunk as their emergency recovery platform when it came to Stadia and all that stuff, and then the same thing happened with Baldur's Gate 3. We're seeing this with major monumental titles. Baldur's Gate 3, not really a AAA title, but it's huge as hell. And
mhm.
Cyberpunk, which is definitely a AAA title and one of the most ambitious. I mean, hey, look, that's all I gotta say. I don't know. I don't know what else to say, Bunny.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, look at how many people are fighting the cloud and who's fueling them but the influencers. And whose pockets are the influencers in?
Yeah, that's a good point. Let me see. Servers are too far from me here in Panama. Phantom Kraken says that the cloud experience. And see, that's what sucks. Now, you're absolutely right because I had to tell people the honest truth. When it comes to whether you're close to a data center or a server or whatever, you are going to have a limited experience. And there are still some people got horrible internet packages and shit with data caps galore and all that. And so that will limit people, but at least that option is still there. So if anything changes in life at some point down the road, you might be able to, make that happen, man. That's crazy.
Hmm.
But Bunny, how do you want to? I mean, I do want to. Let me go back up this chat, please.
Go for it.
Let me see here. Shouldn't all right. Damn, they were saying so much good stuff. All right. Still exact. This is a moment that gaming industry will learn from. The devs will start polishing these games and quit taking consumers for dummies. All right, I think I said that, but then
Facts.
Phantom Kraken, right?
Facts.
Phantom Kraken said we
That's,
shouldn't belittle a game because it came a few years back. I'm not going to be mad if my kids want to see the Goonies just because it's an 80s movie. If you never played it, it's new to you. Hell yeah. People been talking about that old games narrative for a long time. Stadia got hit with it real hard, and then that Xbox got hit with it real hard, and PlayStation
oh,
got hit
yeah.
with it real hard.
Everybody got hit
I
with
mean,
it.
everybody got hit with it. Nintendo got hit with it.
Oh,
Damn, they got
Nintendo always gets
$60 for
hit
the
with
old
it.
game.
Yeah.
Mhm. So yeah, good point. And Zajic says, no, this isn't going to change anything. Sony removed the game because it put a okay, well, I read that already. Let me see. Let me go down here. It was still too okay. Let me go down. Zajic, let's be clear. Let me see if no, I didn't read this yet. Let's be clear. CD Projekt Red messed up. Regardless of their consumer side, they didn't fulfill their business responsibility and a lot of mismanagement.
Mhm.
Definitely the case. They are going to get hit hard and they might not survive. Now, Bunny, damn, see, I lost my train of thought. Let me get it while it's hot. I think that this is about to set CD Projekt Red up to be acquired by somebody. Have you thought about this?
Oh, yeah. If they're not acquired, I think this might be the end for him.
Now I don't think it's ever going to be the end. They too damn talented with a franchise that kicks ass. Two of them. So somebody's going to scoop them up. Believe that or not, somebody's going to scoop
Okay.
them up. Now, who would you think? I tell you right now, you got big pockets Microsoft. You also got big pocket Google, big pocket Sony out here. You know what I'm saying?
You got big
You got
pocket.
big pockets EA. You know what I mean? Like, who do you think? EA just got dirt. They just got Codemasters. Who would you like to see scoop up CD Project Red if that's the case? Because it does look like doom and gloom. It does look like a hole that they can't climb out of.
Because you got to think they're up here paying all this money back for all the shit. Like they've said that they're for people who bought the physical version who can't get refunds. They've said they're going to pay for that out of their own pockets. That's what, like, remember how when before Cyberpunk came out, you were saying there could possibly be a a third person view added.
Yep.
Once this shit launched, ain't nothing. They won't be able to do anything else. But all the money that they're doing is trying to fix this game.
Right.
Okay. Um. What can who can acquire them? It's anybody's ballpark. It depends on how much they're going for and if they think they can work with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they've lost their market shares dropped. They've lost a couple $1 billion since Cyberpunk launched as a company.
Wow. Yeah. And it's sad. I mean, it really is sad. Now, if it was EA, I hate some EA has been known as to be evil. They've been called evil by people. You know what I'm saying? If it happened to one of the, and it happened to a few of their games, their franchises were getting hit up, and this the Frostbite engine was being questioned and all that, man. So if it happened to somebody like EA, I would understand a little bit more. But Cyberpunk, it came from like it was a curveball that came from out of nowhere. Like CD Projekt Red, damn, they do great work. But with that being said, man, Bunny, you know me, I will go overtime if it's necessary. But Uncompetitive said this is a great show. I want to say this right here to all of you. You all made it a great show because me and Bunny would have definitely talked to each other. But to have y'all out here piggybacking and sharing your own ideas in a unique fashion, that's what it's all about. So
And throwing out ideas that me and Storm never even thought about.
yep. And in 2021, I'll be talking to Bunny behind the scenes because we do have guests on the show, y'all. We do have guests on the show. So we'll be talking about that. If you're interested, you know where to find us on Twitter. If you don't know where to find us, you can find Bunny at Bunny, where can they find you on Twitter?
Oh, on Twitter, you can find me at Snowbunny426. And, here on YouTube on Snow Bunny Gaming, I got to figure out how to hook up my PS4 Pro, and then I'm going to start streaming some stuff from that. So I should
Ooh-wee.
start streaming back soon.
You're about to see me drop some crispy 4K man and Madonna
And
real
you
quick. You know what
always
I
been
mean?
dropping them. You've been
Yeah.
dropping so many. You drop like
It's so
50
easy to
a day.
pump it. Hey, Bunny, I'm gonna say this real quick, y'all. I swear, I feel like this is the overtime. If y'all got somewhere to go ahead and do it. But I tell you what,
It's been,
I'm
oh shit, it is 4 o'clock.
it's 4 o'clock. I'm so happy y'all to have these components because y'all heard me so damn confused. Bunny had to endure this stuff. I was so confused and so hurt, and I didn't know where the hell I was gonna go. I didn't know what I was gonna do without my tech, right? So then Bunny said it'll work out. It wasn't meant for you. It wasn't meant to be. So I guess it's starting to look like it was meant to be, but it ain't on my times when this shit happens. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's on the gaming gods' times, I guess. But Xbox Series X is all teaching me not to be such a goddamn fanboy. You know what I mean? Xbox and I always I try to take pride in not being a fanboy, but Series X been great. I love the console. It doesn't doing great things. Forget all the stuff that they were out there talking about. It does have some issues and the lack of games. Hey, the RTX 3080 that I didn't talk about during the show that much, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Thanks to that card, I'm able to give you all glimpses of Cyberpunk that you just don't see on the consoles right now. Stadia has been astronomical because it does the same thing. It just cannot run the game right now like my 3080. But all in all, Bunny, this is why we got to have options. This is why we free ourselves. We're not slaves to no goddamn brand. We can go anywhere we want, and that's how it should be, y'all. As gamers, speak with your wallet, as Tronny would say. Do what y'all do, man. And Bunny, on that note, you can find me on Twitter at the Nephrophiliac, y'all. I was looking for the link to drop before the show wraps up.
It's in
Uh,
the description.
oh, thank you. Damn.
I mean, I put the description of your YouTube channel right here on the description, so you can find Project Storm here on YouTube. The description has his channel link.
That's what's up. You also find both of us on pntsnetwork.com. Go over there, check it out. Scroll down a little bit, see what the Yappa is all about on the website in case we start doing Yappas and stuff. And then, Bunny, can you tell them about the Radio Public?
Yes. So you can find us both with Ying Meets Yang of Gaming over on Radio Public. I put a link of the description to Radio Public in the chat box in the description below. You can click on that. You can listen to us anywhere. They have an app that you can get. You can listen to our older shows anywhere, anyhow, any place, anywhere, anytime, anyhow, which way you want to do it. And as he said, you can find us over on pntsnetwork.com along with our MM2K. What other shows are you going to be on this week? Oh, we need to tell you guys, it is official that the commission that was on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is
Sunday night? You said Sunday night?
No, I said Wednesday night.
Yeah, you said Sunday night.
Oh, the commission that's on Wednesday nights is officially moving to Fridays, anywhere between 8 p.m. and 8:30 Eastern Standard Time.
That's right. And
That's
also, you know, if you see me, you're probably going to see Moss somewhere eventually. You can find him on Stadia Doses News here on YouTube. You can find us both on the SSC podcast every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll let y'all know if any of these shows changes times. For the holidays, y'all, you might get a notice that we may not be running the show, you know, obviously because of the holidays.
That's what I need to tell you guys. This is our last show for 2020.
Damn.
Okay?
What
Because
episode is this again?
this is episode number 17.
Damn, time be flying.
Okay, because next weekend is the 27th. That's still the holiday weekend. We will see everybody back on January the 3rd, 2021. And with that note, I would like to wish everyone a very safe holiday. If you don't celebrate, if you have time off, spend it with your families, with your loved ones. 2020, we have had a lot of things happen. We have lost people
Yep.
who were precious and dear to us. We've had people sick this year. This year has been hell in a handbasket for all of us.
Yep.
Some of us has lost our jobs. Let's end this year on a positive note. And we're going to start 2021 kicking ass because it can't get any worse than what it is now. So everyone, please be safe. Please, 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 if you go out on New Year's Eve, if you're drinking, make sure you have a designated driver. Please be safe because I want to see each and every one of you back in my chat when we come back in 2021. And on that note, you have anything else to say, Storm?
Nah, that's it. I meant to plug SML podcast, y'all. Every Saturday at 11. That's me and MM2K as well. 11 a.m. Eastern time over on his channel. That's going to be on the MM2K or the Stadia Doses News channel, y'all. So I just want to say that. But Bunny, that's a great message, and you know, I definitely feel that way. So that's it.
We will see you guys on January 3rd, 2021. Have a wonderful holiday. Happy New Year. We'll see you guys then.
Peace.
Bye.
And game how you want to. Game how you want to, y'all.
Have a great evening. Bye.